Hello, I'm Amy Blumendahl. I'm a certified prenatal and postpartum fitness coach. I'm going to be taking you through a 20-minute full body pregnancy strength circuit today. This is great for all 3 trimesters. I'll give options and variations if you need to take them or leave them, depending on symptoms and how you're feeling day to day. If you are experiencing any symptoms like pelvic floor pain, discomfort, heaviness, or bladder leaking, anything like that, I encourage you to see a pelvic floor physical therapist and see your physician as needed. Today's going to be a 6-interval circuit. Each interval will be 45 seconds of work with 15 seconds transition. We will go through 2 times through. Equipment today that you need is just a couple pairs of dumbbells. You might want to have options for lower upper body, and then water, and then possibly a mat is optional. Let's get started with a really quick warm-up. We'll start with feet shoulder width apart, and we'll start with some hip circles. Push those hips forward, back, and around. Slowly and carefully, whatever feels good for range of motion. Switch direction here. One more. Center those hips back around. Let's go shoulder width or maybe wider if it feels good on your hips. Let's do some body weight squats, lower and lift. Just a couple here to get it started. We're going to add on to it. Last squat here. All right, we're going to go squat with a pivot and turn with a reach. Squat, pivot, turn, reach. Very gentle. It doesn't have to be a big twist. Whatever feels good for you and your hips, your body. You're always in charge of range of motion and intensity here as we go through the workout. One more. Let's go some shoulder circles here. Reverse direction. Relax it out. Go wide again with those feet. Let's shift it left to right. This can be just a small hip shift, whatever feels good. It can go all the way down into a lateral lunge or a lateral squat. Warming up those small stabilizers, the inner outer legs and glutes. Warming up those stabilizers, those smaller muscles around the hips, knees, and ankles. One more left and right. Good, let's bring it back up, about hip width apart. Let's do a hinge. Reach it up. Hinge. Inhale. One more. Let's go hamstring curl. Pull that heel back. Reach and pull forward and back. Warm up chest and back. Nice job. Just getting that heart rate up. Body warm. Muscles and joints ready to move and work. Just a few more of these. Here's 5. Standing tall. 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, we're going to head into this workout. If you feel like you're not quite warm yet, you can either hit pause and repeat what we just did, or take this first round a little bit lighter, or maybe the first half of the round a little bit lighter, and get your body warm and ready. All right, our first interval, we're going to start with a B stance Romanian deadlift. So I would go medium to heavy dumbbell on this one. I'm just going to do a single dumbbell. Find your Romanian deadlift, about narrow stance, hip width, and we're going to slide one foot back, kick the heel up for a B stance. We're going to drop the weight down, squeeze it back up in that hinging motion. Here's 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Pushing those hips back, letting that dumbbell come all the way down, right next to the body. I like to hold it in my opposite arm from the working leg. You can add a little bit of rotation to lengthen that working glute a little bit more. Find internal rotation. We're going to go half on each side here. Switching sides right here. Finding length through that glute with that internal rotation. That part is optional. But we also can find length in that pelvic floor and open up that pelvic outlet by adding this internal rotation If belly's getting a little bit bigger, second or third trimester, just rotate as best you can. It won't be a big rotation. That is okay. Just do what you can. Here's 3, 2, 1. I'm going to go a little bit lighter weights. We're going to be doing an iso hold bicep curl with an upright row. Half on each side. Here's 4, 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. One arm is upright row. One arm is holding a 90-degree isometric hold. Little bend in those knees puts that pelvis in a good position. Elbow out, dumbbell comes. It can go around baby belly if it needs to. Just a few more on this side, shoulders down. This is great for parenthood. 3, 2, 1, switch. Find that iso hold on that side. Holding kiddos on the hip. We need to be able to hold this position for sometimes a long time. Nice job. We got 10 seconds. Of course, this upright row is working the top of the shoulder with that upper body pull. Here's 3, 2, 1. Keeping one dumbbell here. We can either do this one standing. This is going to be a windmill, working that core. You can go down to a kneeling position, especially if you're second or third trimester. It might be better to kneel on this one. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. We're just pushing those hips back, letting that upper body come forward and down with a hinge from the hip. Upper body and weight is optional in that top hand. You don't have to have a dumbbell up there. Shoulders stable. We're going to switch in 3, 2, and 1. That back, if you're on your knees, that back toe can be curled under. Big exhale, hinging back up. Working that side body, those obliques. Here's 4, 3, 2, and 1. Weight down, lunge back up. We're going to go regular squat here. I'm going to go heavier with my dumbbell. Wider stance is okay, especially if you're later on in pregnancy, second or third trimester. Here's 3, 2, 1. Those knees and toes can start pointing out if that feels better on the hips. Range of motion up to you. Shoulders back and down. Lower. Squeeze. Push down through those feet and lift. Nice job. Start incorporating some breath work into your strength. That'll help coordinate the core and pelvic floor as well. So an inhale down. And exhale and light lift through that pelvic floor and connection through the core on your way up. On your inhale, you want to breathe into that side and back body. 360-degree breath. 3, 2, and 1. We're going to go into a back fly, so light weights. Bent over position, and we're going to squeeze those weights out and lower back down. Set it up in 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm going to show a supported position as well here. So it's going to be hand on something in front of you, something stable. It can be the bench, a chair, something. You can either do a tripod stance here or a split stance, one forward, one back. We can do half on each side here, or maybe you want to do 2 on each side. Keep alternating. Whatever works best for you. We're halfway here. Switch sides if you're doing single arm. The main thing is that we want to keep that neutral spine, so we don't want to drop the belly too far. We don't want to start curling under. Find that neutral for you. And during pregnancy, you're going to have a little bit of anterior tilt. That's okay. We don't want it to be excessive, though. Here's 4, 3, 2, 1. Final interval here. We're going to go into a side plank. So lower down into a lunge first, and then come down to a side plank. You can be on your hand or your elbow. This is going to be a diagonal. So one leg, your top leg is going to kick back. You're going to reach out and across. Here we go. Join me when you're ready. Lower and squeeze. Reach and squeeze. I'll show an elevated version here. Just to keep it simple, we're going to keep it on this side for the whole interval and do the other side round 2 next round. Reach and pull. Kick that heel out and back. If you want to do just one of these, just reach with the leg and squeeze back in. or reach with the arm, come back in. All of that is just fine. If you'd rather do a crunch up top, whatever feels best for you today. 3, 2, 1. Little break here. We got 1 minute. Grab a quick sip of water. Any mobility that feels good right now. Take a second to kind of reflect on round 1. If it was too challenging, not challenging enough, make those adjustments as you need to. On a scale of 1 to 10, we don't need to push it too hard during pregnancy. We don't need to push boundaries. On a scale of 1 to 10, on a 45-second interval like these ones, like a 6 to 7 effort level. The last 2 reps are challenging, but very doable. We got 15 seconds here. We're going to go into that B Stance RDL, optional internal rotation or reach across. Just a few seconds here, set it up. 3, 2, 1, here we go. Most of that weight is on that lead leg. This is kind of a pseudo single leg. Still very stable through those legs. We don't have to worry about balancing too much. Inhale down, exhale it up. Alternatively, you can maybe try a different strategy where you inhale at the top, exhale through that whole range of motion. Switch sides here. Different breath strategies might work for different folks, so you can try different things out. Working those glutes and hamstrings here. Nice job. Range of motion might need to decrease as pregnancy goes on and closer to the end. 3, 2, 1. That is okay. That is normal. To be expected. Upright row with iso hold. If you remember which one you started with, go opposite side. If you don't remember, not a big deal. Here we go. Exhale up, inhale down. Nice and strong through that core. Just a light connection. It doesn't have to be over grippy. We can do this in a seated position or a half kneel position as well if you feel like there's a lot of pressure going out or if those hips like to push forward. 3, 2, 1, switch sides. Elbow wide. Dumbbell to the armpit or so. Doesn't have to be way up here. Armpit or so is great. 10 seconds. Just a few more. 4, 3, 2, and 1. We got windmill. Again, opposite side if you remember which side you started on. 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. Just showing a body weight version this round. Inhale down, slow and controlled. Exhale up. Switch sides right here. This is definitely harder than it looks. Just a couple more. Here's 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it back up. We got squats. If you want to jazz these up a little bit, we're going to add a little movement. If you want to do regular squats like we did round 1, you're welcome to do that. Squat, step together, squat, step together. Optional. Let's go. Breathing through it. Nice job. Half the battle is just showing up during pregnancy sometimes. Or maybe all of the battle. A lot of times, especially first trimester, that energy might be very, very low. Just showing up is a win. Even if you're not doing extra resistance or your normal resistance, that is okay. That energy will likely return as you get closer to second trimester. Here's 3, 2, 1. We got back fly. You can do supported like we did first round, or this bent over position. Here's 4, 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. Working that upper back here behind, between the shoulders, back of the shoulder, lat muscles, great for posture muscles. We'll definitely need those to be strong throughout pregnancy and postpartum especially. A lot of strength training and being active through pregnancy is setting you up for success during that postpartum period. So your later self is gonna thank you for this. Nice job showing up for yourself in the future. Nice job. Of course, there's lots of different benefits for you and baby right now. Here's 4, 3, 2, and 1. Side plank. Other side. I'll show this elevated version again, but you can do this on the floor if you feel good about that. As long as we're not having too many symptoms in that core, we don't want too much pressure. 3, 2, 1. We don't want too much pressure in that midline. Reach and kick. Squeeze back. Nice job. We get a nice rotation through that torso. So obliques are working. That core is coordinating with your breath and your pelvic floor. Working that whole core system here. We're working those glutes as well here. Kick back. Nice job. Just a few more. Give me like 2 more. Yes, here we go. 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome job, team. 30 seconds here. Grab a quick sip. All right, let's take some shoulder rolls, cooling it down with some mobility. So important during pregnancy. Reverse direction. Shoulders back and down. Bring those arms behind. Drop them down and lift. Just a great stretch on that front of the shoulder and chest. Again, working on some of that breath work here. Try to get that breath out of the chest and into the lower. Again, trying to work on that breath here, trying to take it out of the chest, get it into the side and back body for 360-degree breathing. And release. Bring those arms in front here. We're going to drag one arm right across, rotate open, keeping those hips pointed forward, and then come up and over. 2 more just like that. Slowly reach back, and then up and over. Last one here. And then over to the other side. Reach and drag. Those hips are going to want to come with you. Try to keep them pointed forward. Little bend in those knees. 1 more. Nice job. We're going to come down to a kneeling position and then tabletop. We're just going to hip shift left and right. So roll through and push those hips back and to the side. Should feel really good on the glute medius, the glutes. All right, couple cat-cows. Inhale to cow, drop the belly, lift the chin. And then on your exhale, we're going to come either to neutral or a very, very small cat. It doesn't have to be a big round here. A little gentle belly hug or baby hug. And then drop back down with an inhale. Last one here. Exhale to tabletop or a little baby cat. Bring those knees wide. Bring those feet together. And sit back to your heels. Reach those arms forward for a child's pose. Bring the forehead down to the floor mat and gently rest. Let that low back release. Gently walk your hands over to one side with a nice big stretch. Give yourself some room in that rib cage if for second or third trimester. Room runs out in that torso, so it can feel really nice to create some expansion in that side body. And then walk it over to this other side. And then come in. Walk it back to the center. Bring it back up. Bring the knees under the hips. Come up to stand on the knees. Bring one foot up. Stand it up from a lunge position. Last inhale. Reach it all the way up to the ceiling. And exhale on your way back down. Thank you so much for pressing play and working out with me today. Come back to this one and press play next time you need a full body circuit, anytime during your pregnancy. Hit like and subscribe and share it with your family and friends who are expecting.